definitely I am an applied linguist. I think in two different senses. I was trained as a psycholinguist and as a sociolinguist, and my specialty is how children learn language, especially bilingual children. So how children learn more than one language variety. And from the very start, I've been thinking about how to apply the insights from that research to actually raising bilingual children. And about that, raising bilingual children, there are so many questions out there in the real world from parents, from educators, from pediatricians, and so forth. So I've been really dealing with that from the very start. Now, in a more narrow sense, I'm also an applied linguist, because many people see applied linguistics as dealing with the teaching of foreign languages. I've been doing quite a bit of that too. And plus, I've trained as a professor of language learning and language teaching. I've trained future teachers of English at the University of Erfurt, and I've taught foreign languages to very young children and adults alike. So I have quite a bit of expertise in that area as well. So I do consider myself to be an applied linguist in those senses. With AILA itself, on an international level, yes, I was quite active within AILA in the 90s up until about 2002, because I was asked by Kees de Bot, if I remember correctly, to run to convene, as it was then called, a sort of research network, what's now called research networks, on child language, actually. The convener of the AILA Scientific Commission, that's what they were called, sorry, on child language from 97 until 2002. And starting in 99, also Yamamoto Masao from Japan was my co-convener. And I organized or co-organized two symposia in the frame of that. Is in fact right now it's very hot, yeah. Although it's been relevant for forever, but now it's very hot, and there's more and more and more people talking about it and writing about it and working in what's called a field called family language policy. So amongst others, you know. So yeah, I think that is a good idea actually, to reboot every maybe every 3 years. I think that's maybe a little bit too soon. Maybe the period should be 6 years, you know, because, for instance, now that they're going to have symposia here in Lyon, well, you know, it takes some time. Maybe they'll attract new people who don't know about this topic. They'll attract new people who might be interested, who might be doing things that are related to it, but who didn't know that there was a research network on this. Then it'll take some time for these people to get interested and really engaged with the network. So maybe then, you know, 3 years is a little short, maybe, you know, and that's probably, yeah. At any rate, I think also that there can be maybe more collaboration between research networks to gain a little more mass, so to speak. But I think it's a good idea, yeah. Well, yeah, the very first time I went to AILA, that was in 1984 when I was a doctoral student. So for me, that's like about 40 years ago. So it's a kind of anniversary for me too. Well, I was really honored and pleased to be asked by Jan Svartvik, very big name in the field, but also a very tall gentleman, to be asked to dance with him. Oh, it was great fun. It was different kinds of dancing at that time still, you know, really couple in a couple. So that felt really good. And, you know, I've really danced very nicely at also at the 2006 Essen conference. And I'm sure there will be more. And I was very excited to see that there will be dancing in Lyon as well. I think our main challenge as a field, also in linguistics proper, so to speak, not to say that applied linguistics isn't proper linguistics, okay? But in linguistics, that we become too repetitive. There are many things that are presented as new, which are not. That happens in many fields these days, I think, and that can be a problem. Also, we shouldn't forget the big picture. And we need to think of the next generation always, yes. And so I feel that the AILA conferences could become more of a forum for mentoring the future generation. That there could be, beside the plenary talks and the symposia, that there could be more mentoring sessions, as is being done in other conferences. Yeah, that would definitely be good, especially also because AILA is global, and there may be opportunities, a lot of opportunities for people from the global south, especially also in those kinds of areas.